they're a really good team. And I'm not just saying that because they're the number one team in the West right now, especially when you talk about the West fluctuating a lot in the standings. I mean, we had the Utah Jazz, the Blazers at number one, the Phoenix Suns, now the Pelicans. The Pelicans can end up being 1, 2, or 3. They have a good team, and I believe they can really come out the West. I mean, when we talk about Zion. For those who slept on Zion, I don't know, man. I mean, did I sleep on him? I was just questioning the health, but I knew when he was if he is healthy, he's going to be playing at a generational level like he is right now. Zion, I saw somewhere, but Zion Williamson is the new bully of the NBA. He's just bullying everybody. He's playing great. And when we talk about the Pelicans being the number one team, being a team that can come out the West, besides having Zion, they have a deep team. When they are healthy, they have CJ McCollum, Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Jonas Valanciunas. But on the bench, they have Trey Murphy III, who's been coming into his own, breaking out this year, playing really well. Jose Alvarado, not just a pesky defender, but he is showing some offense. Nance Jr., who is one of the most underrated players in my eyes. When I've been watching the Pelicans games, he plays really good defense, high IQ on both ends. Can play stretch 5. They also got Naji Marshall, who's been coming into his own too as well, kind of breaking out. Playing well on both sides, tough player. He will fight you. I'm pretty sure I saw that on Twitter where he said that if you mess with Brandon Ingram and Zion or whoever, that he will fight you or something. I could be wrong. They also have Dyson Daniels, who I have been very impressed with. He's been a really good rookie for this team, playing well on both sides. I mean, when we talk about playoffs, when we talk about, being contenders, we always talk about it's all about matchups. This Pelicans team can match up with anybody, really, to be honest. I mean, like I said, the starting 5 earlier, but they can mix up their lineups where they can play really big with Jonas and Zion, but they can also play small ball 5. You can have Zion at the 5. You can have Larry Nance at the 5. You can put Trey Murphy at the 4. Brandon Ingram can play 2 to 4. The variations of their lineup is like endless, to be honest. They can match up with anybody, and like I said, they're number 1 in the West. And let's dive deeper into the numbers. They won 9 of their last 10. They're on a 7-game winning streak, which is currently the longest winning streak in the league right now. They're 5th in offensive rating at 115.3. 3rd in defensive rating at 108.4. And I mean, they're top 10 in both of those. They're top 10 in defense and offense. Top 5 actually in defense and offense. This Pelicans team is for real. They have the generational talent in Zion, and they have very good pieces around them. And also, I did not acknowledge the new setup. Got the new Warriors jersey in the back. Shout out to them. Just beat the Celtics. Got the Devin Booker jersey in the back. Shout out to them coming off back-to-back losses against the Pelicans. Shout out to them. But let's talk about the man of the hour, Zion Williamson. Oh my gosh, I've been watching him. He's averaging 25 points, 7.2 rebounds, 4.2 assists on 60.9 from the field, 35.7 from 3, which, it's not on volume, but he's been showing that he'll shoot it here and there. And 72% from free throw line, which is very important because he gets to the line often, and that totals up to a 65% true shooting, efficiency. That's what you're going to get with Zion. In the month of December, he's averaging 30.8 points, 9.2 rebounds, and 5 assists. He's coming off back-to-back 35-point games against a Phoenix Suns team that, could also possibly come out the West. What do we know about Zion? Just the generational athleticism. He's going to dunk on you. He's going to go through you. He has that quick first step on silver or gold. We'll give him gold, We'll give him gold. But when we talk about those abilities and strengths of him, a perfect example offensively was against that Phoenix Suns team in those 2 games. I mean, when they first started guarding him, they had Mikal Bridges and Torrey Craig on him. Mikal Bridges, Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Torrey Craig, another good defender, and he's stronger. But they couldn't guard Zion. He's just going through them. He's too strong. And then Phoenix, they made that change, put DeAndre Ayton on him to put more strength against him, but he can't guard him because Zion is too quick. It is so hard to guard him. Even how they're throwing multiple bodies at him, they're trying to build a wall against him, he's getting through it. I mean, oh my gosh, when we talk about great players, the superstar players, we always throw the word gravity out there. Steph's a perfect example of gravity, but every great player, I mean, Jokic, Embiid, Tatum, they all have their own gravity. Zion has gravity too. I mean, I was watching them when they were playing against Toronto. It's Toronto, where they have defensive fiends on their team. OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes. When he would get the ball in the post or when he was driving, 4 guys would collapse on him. You got to send a double at him, a triple at him, a quadruple at him, a quintuple at him. If you could, teams would send a sextuple on him. That's 6. Dude, it's so hard to guard him. And the thing with him too is that he's a very underrated passer. He'll find a way if it's really tough for him to score, he'll kick it out. He'll get it to players. I mean, he's averaging damn near 5 assists per game. And then also, if he does miss a layup, you're gonna have to find him, because there's a good chance that he'll catch the miss with his second quick jump. We can go on and on about Zion, man. I mean, point Zion. They've been doing a lot of it. They closed the game out against Phoenix the other night with doing that. Him and Giannis, they are in their own class when it comes to transition downhill threats. They are the most dangerous going downhill or in transition. I mean, oh my gosh, they're strong, they're athletic, they're gonna jump over you, get through you. Oh my gosh. And we talk about the other guys, CJ McCollum. This is why I think like the Pelicans, they can really come out of the West, because they're not even playing at their best, really. They're not at the healthiest right now. I mean, they're missing Herb Jones and BI, but also CJ McCollum he's having a tough year when it comes to efficiency. He's shooting a career low 39.5% from the field and 31% from 3, averaging only 17 points. I mean, with the points, I think it'll vary. He'll be around 17 to 20 points, but efficiency, I expect it to go up. CJ did not play with Zion last year. He's still kind of getting acclimated to how he's going to play with him. He's going to get better. He's a hooper. Let the hoopers hoop. He's a bucket. He is going to find a way to get better. You'll see the efficiency. You'll see the numbers go up. Brandon Ingram, he's averaging 20.8 points, 4.7 assists. He's actually shooting a career high of 47% from 3 as well, and 4 attempts, So solid volume. That's the thing with the Pelicans too. I don't know. My mind's kind of going all over the place right now. But I don't know how it will affect them down the road, because they're tied for second least in 3-point attempts per game. They got a lot of their buckets down low or in the mid-range. They do have like 3-point shooter threats, like Trey Murphy's having a great year shooting the ball. Herb Jones has the ability. He hasn't been shooting the ball that well this year, only shooting 28% from 3, but the ability is there. Jose Alvarado can shoot the ball. CJ McCollum. I'm curious of how, if it will affect them down the road for not shooting that many threes. BI's not been playing, and they've been on this streak without BI. With Jonas Valanciunas, I was questioning like how that fit would work with him and Zion, because it's 2 big bodies, but hasn't been really affecting a lot. I mean, I think their best lineup is when they have Larry Nance and Zion Williamson down there. So a lot of times they'll stagger their minutes after the first quarter or after that initial starting lineup. But and then when we talk about Trey Murphy, I mean, you can make a whole video about how good he's been. I don't want to say he's been a great surprise, because he was a first-round pick. He was just outside the lottery, so it's more so like his breakout kind of, it just came. He's been great for them. We'll just say that. I mean, he's averaging 13 points and 4.3 rebounds. He was coming into the league as a 3-and-D player, but he's also been doing a good job putting the ball on the deck. He's good at attacking closeouts, and I've seen him like dunk the ball. Like, he can really rise up. I was surprised to see how he can rise up. He's a versatile defender too as well. I've been very impressed with Trey Murphy III. He also had a game this year where he was 8 for 8 against the Mavs without Zion and BI, so he's shown the ability to score in bunches too. And also Jose Alvarado, obviously he's the fan favorite. Pelican fans, if you watch this, you can attest to that. But I mean, we've known him as a pesky defender, but he's been showing more offensively. I mean, he had a 38 piece. When I got that notification, I had to like blink my eyes a little bit. I was like, Jose Alvarado for 38? Wow. I mean, he's been looking to score the ball. He's aggressive. He's fearless down there. So, I mean, he's not just showing that he's a pesky defender, but he's showing that he can score the ball as well. And then Naji Marshall, shout out to him. I mean, you always need a guy like Naji Marshall. I mean, he's a tough player. And you see him confront players. You see him confront John Morant. I mean, last night, or the other night, when Zion had that 360 to finish the game. I mean, he was out there. He's always in the middle of the confrontations. But I mean, shout out to Naji Marshall. But yeah, he's been playing really good on defense. He'll knock down a 3 for you every game. Having a good year. He's having, I think, a breakout year too as well in terms of that. Dyson Daniels. I mean, I didn't know what to expect from him really going to this year. I mean, he's a lottery pick, but how is he going to play? They had a lot of depth with CJ, Jose Alvarado, but He's been playing well. He's been starting. He closed the game out last night against Phoenix, where in overtime they hadn't played the whole 5 minutes. The thing of why he's playing a lot is because he's been playing solid on both ends. He's a high IQ player. He makes the extra pass. He's not shooting bad shots. A very low turnover player. Smart player on both sides. Good cutter. It was good to see him attack Chris Paul. I mean, he had Chris Paul in the post-up a couple times. Dyson Daniels is a good player. He's going to be in the rotation. He's going to be a very important piece for them. He's a good, tall point guard for them. He's like, 6'7", 6'8". But we can make a video for each of these players. That's how deep this team is. Larry Nance, like I said earlier, he is very underrated. I was just watching how he's playing defense. He's always in the mix of things, getting involved, active defensively. There was a play against Phoenix where, Landale got on the high-low, and Larry Nance immediately stepped back because he knew Landale was going to toss it to, who was down there? I think it was like DeAndre Ayton or Torrey Craig that was on a mismatch. But he got there in time, got the steal. I don't know. Something that I saw. Larry Nance, he plays high IQ offense, high IQ defense. I like it when he's down there playing with Zion. I'm pretty sure they do too. I mean, they finished that Phoenix game in overtime with Larry Nance and Zion Williamson down there. That's the New Orleans Pelicans. If I did not convince you that the New Orleans Pelicans is coming out the West, I'm sorry, because I feel like I went over some very good points. The Pelicans are good. Zion Williamson is great. Superstar yet? Is Zion Williamson a superstar? I mean, you got to make a couple more All-Star games. Got to make it to the finals, I think, maybe. I don't know what the credentials are. Someone send me the credentials for what it takes to be a superstar, because we don't know, I think, actually. But yeah, Pelicans, Contenders. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like, subscribe, comment. Do you guys think the New Orleans Pelicans are Contenders, or am I just tripping? But yeah, like I always say in my videos, my first name is Emilio, but my middle name is Lawrence, and I like hoops. If you like hoop too, subscribe to it too. Until next time, peace.